everyone. I'm back again for week 4 of our 40 days of prayer with my friends. And today we are talking about the Church of Christ. Now, you might think, what is this on the table? What is this? What do we have here?
Rocks.
Yeah, we have rocks. And you got a big one, some smaller ones, and some little teeny tiny pebbles. These kind of look like the rocks you put in an aquarium, don't they?
Yeah, but do you know that when there's a bigger one, there's no more, but when there's medium-sized one, there's a little bit more. When there's tinier ones, there's more.
Yeah, so rocks are really cool things because they can grow over time. Rocks can get bigger and they can also get smaller and the water can change them, but they're very strong things, aren't they? Now, the bigger the rock, the stronger, for sure. So what do rocks have to do with the church? Well, in the Bible, in the New Testament, the first time that Jesus talks about the church, he's actually having a conversation with his disciples, and he's talking to Peter. Now, what's really interesting is Peter's name wasn't always Peter. Jesus gave him that name because it meant rock. But when you study the words in the Bible and you look at different things, the word that is closest to Peter's name was like a rock, a good rock, but it wasn't like a giant, enormous rock. Can you think of any huge rocks? Like I thought of one. There's a big rock that a lot of people go to see. It's got some things carved in it. Do you know what that's called? It's got some presidents' heads in it. Mount Rushmore, yes, yeah, that's a pretty big rock if you've ever seen that. It's granite, I think.
Also,
I think.
The jump rock.
The jump rock, yeah, that's probably a big rock. We have flat rock and blowing rock. I grew up in Tennessee where there's all these big places and rocks. You can actually water slide down rocks. Rocks can be enormous. Well, when Jesus was talking to Peter about the church, Jesus called himself the rock, like the biggest rock that you could imagine. And he said, Peter, I want you to help build the church, and you are going to be a rock. So if we're thinking about rocks like that, this would represent Jesus, although Jesus would be a way bigger rock than this, right? But this is a pretty big rock. It's pretty heavy. And Peter would kind of be one of these rocks over here because Peter's just one person, right? One person. The Church of Jesus Christ, that's the church of all the people of all over the world that believe in Jesus. And when we meet together and we are the body of believers, it's like we get to take our little tiny rocks and we form churches with bigger solid rocks than these little rocks because we all belong to the rock of Christ. So when you think about the church, I want you to think about that we are a part, we are a body, we are a piece of what God is wanting to do in the world to show people himself. And we have a job as members of the church to represent Jesus and to tell people the truth about God and to share his love. So this week, we are going to pray 2 things. We're going to thank God that he gives us the church, because that was a gift that we get to join together as believers. And then we're going to ask God to help us see ways that we can serve in the church, because that's important to serve in the church, isn't it? Super important. Even kids can serve in the church. There's so many things that we can do to serve the church. But then I also want you to ask the Lord to help you think of who you can invite to come to church, to tell your friends and your family about Jesus. So pray with us this week. Thank God that he gives us the church.